On the rare occasions that I actually scroll social media instead of creating content, I often find a few assumptions that are made about the whole of this country's economy and finances that I just don't want to be associated with or lumped into. And they just kind of get on my nerves. And statistically speaking, some of these things might be true. However, these are some things that I have noticed when scrolling social media that people assume about other people's finances that might not always be true. And so we're just going to get straight into it with number one, which is that everybody's in the same boat. And that's the general theme of this video. Everybody's not in the same boat. Finances are so nuanced. People have different starting points, ending points. Some people got lucky. Other people just worked really hard and earned what they have. And that, in particular, seems to be the thing that people refuse to believe, which drives me nuts because I feel like I've worked hard for everything that I have. So these are some of the things that bother me. Number one, assuming that everybody's in the same boat or thinking that everybody has the same situation as you. And I find that a lot of people do this if they're not necessarily doing the best financially. They assume, well, everybody's in the same boat. Nobody really can afford anything. Everybody's in debt. Everybody's doing certain behaviors that they see as okay. And I think that this comes from a place of wanting to feel as though you're not alone, which I understand. However, not everybody's in the same boat. There are people that are doing a little bit better, a little bit worse. Some people are on the same page, right? But you got to keep in mind too that people might not always be being honest with you for their safety or for their ego, or they just don't want to rock the boat too much. It's just very nuanced when things come to finances. And so that's the first thing that I see that people assume is that the majority of the people around them or everybody is in the same boat. I just wish people would stop assuming that everybody has the same degree of responsibility with their finances as them, because there's never one time been a time where someone that I know has more than me or, you know, establishes sinking funds or credit card hacks or things like that. I've never had someone like that, financially savvy, tell me or assume that I have credit card debt in order to do the things that I do and have the things that I have. So it makes me wonder, why are you assuming that everybody is doing it this way? It has to be because you're doing it that way, and that's just not the case for everybody. And going with that same theme of assuming that everybody's in the same boat as you, the second thing that I've noticed when consuming social media content is that people will make claims based off of what you have and say that you were able to get that through credit card debt, because you live at home with your mom, or any variation of living at home with your parents or having credit card debt. It's never, wow, how did you save up the money to do this? It's never coming from a place of not admiration, but at least congratulations, or that's really cool. It's always kind of tearing you down. And I've actually had comments put on pictures that I've posted on vacation saying, how much credit card debt did you have to incur in order to go here? And that was just going to Miami. Not everybody has to take out a loan or go into debt in order to go on a vacation. Some people make sinking funds. Some people save for many months in order to go on a vacation. Some people just have the money to travel more than once in a year, and that's okay. It doesn't always have to be someone doing something nefarious in order to experience something nice. And in that theme, I just find that people are really quick to dismiss other people's accomplishments. I can't necessarily wrap my head around why someone would feel comfortable saying something like that to someone, especially someone that they know, right? I've been told this to my face, received comments like this on pictures, and I just often wonder what people are thinking or what emotion they're trying to invoke by leaving a comment like that or by saying something like that to someone. Now, a lot of the people that know me don't know that I have a YouTube channel or that I'm into finance. They wouldn't be able to make that assumption without me explicitly telling them. However, they can't really assume the other as well. So I just wonder why it's so easy to make the negative assumption as opposed to assuming that people are being, responsible and how they're able to incur the things that they have and do some of the things that they do, I just feel like it's not nice. Now, the third and final thing actually piggybacks off of the second one and assuming that people are all in the same boat as you. And that is the statement or the sentiment that $100,000 or six figures is not a lot of money. And this is something that I hear so much on social media. This is things that I've been told under my videos, in person. It's so rude. I hate this statement. I hate this sentiment because it often almost always comes right after someone has disclosed an accomplishment or a goal that they have for their finances, a stepping stone, if you will. And an example of this is, people talking about how I'm trying to save the first six figures in my net worth. And a lot of the comments when people make videos like this or when they bring this up are things like, six figures is not a lot of money. That's not a lot of money. That's not going to do anything for you. It's very negative. And I just feel like I don't, again, understand what the point is in saying that to someone, especially when their goal is to reach six figures in net worth by a certain age. I just feel like it doesn't come from a place of encouragement. And so I often wonder what the deal is with that, what people are trying to get out of saying that to someone, especially when it's following someone making an exclamation of a goal. And so I really don't like that. Like, we know the statistics on how $100,000 shrinks with inflation. People that are focusing on their finances and trying to do better with their finances are aware of that. So I just don't understand why people feel the need for that to be what they say when someone reaches a milestone and it happens to be six figures. I don't understand why that's what they need to say as opposed to good job, great start, keep going. So those are the three things that just really drive me nuts. Those are some assumptions that I find to be negative and also just kind of rude, things that are not the nicest things to say, things that I've been told to my face and that I've seen on social media. So let me know what you guys think. I'm sure some of those sentiments you guys do agree with. Let me know in the comments what you think, and I will discuss it with you there.